Stevenson.
And Stevenson has become the standard by which U.S. heavyweights measure themselves as amateurs. So many before Tyrell have taken their shot at Stevenson. Not too many have been successful, but this young man hoping that the second time will be the charm.
Stevenson and Biggs met in 1982 in a USA-Cuba dual meet. And, of course, a much younger Tyrell Biggs at that time against the veteran Stevenson.
And a younger Stevenson, you might add, 33. You'll see the power of Stevenson to the body. He can go downstairs as well as any fighter around. And when he is on and when he is at the best of his game, he can throw good body shots, and we saw him hurt Tyrell Biggs with that one.
This fight went into the second round, and Stevenson really took control.
And we'll see the thunderous right hand of Stevenson, this time landing to the head of Tyrell Biggs, and that was all she wrote. And we'll see the hand of Teofilio Stevenson raised in victory. Familiar sight that has been. U.S. boxers, Tyrell Biggs almost in tears there. He was really motivated after that win to come back against Stevenson.
Stevenson at 6'5", 200 pounds, and Biggs 6'5", 218 pounds. And we asked Biggs how he would approach this fight with Teofilio Stevenson, a man who has won 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals.
I want to fight him differently. I presume he cannot do so many things differently that he done the last time. I guess it goes back to the saying, you can't teach a old dog new tricks. And I'm still coming up, and I'm still improving, and I'm getting stronger, and I've trained really hard for this fight, and I think that the type of fight that I'm going to fight him with is going to enable me to beat him.
This is Tyrell Biggs, Teofilio Stevenson. We've been waiting for this one from Reno, Nevada.
Boys of boxing, these are super heavyweights. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, representing Trump Boxing Stable.
And, of course, a good look at Teofilio Stevenson. Still a happy look on his face as Tyrell Biggs was just introduced. And now, how long can this man continue to go? Of course, when you're fighting just 3 rounds, you can continue in this game for a number of years.
Indeed, and he's 33 years old. He gets a little boo from the crowd, but they respect his ability. But you're right, he's fighting 3 rounds and fighting in specific tournaments from time to time. So we'll see. He still has power in that right hand, and that's what Tyrell Biggs has to worry about.
Still listed as a student, 33 years of age. Well, resides in Las Tunas in Cuba, and as I mentioned, he's won 3 consecutive Olympic gold medals and is the only man besides the legendary Laszlo Papp of Hungary to do that.
And the key for Biggs, I think, is to stay away from the Stevenson right hand and stay busy. He can do that. We've seen fighters be effective against Stevenson in that way.
Stevenson listed at 220 pounds. Now, he used to fight around the 202.5 range, and I would say in the last 4 or 5 years, he has really put on a considerable amount of weight.
It's a natural process for all heavyweights. They all tend to get heavier as they hit their 30s.
You know, with that headgear on, for a fleeting moment, he reminds you a little bit of Muhammad Ali in the face.
He does indeed. And, you know, Ali was a good example of the fact that fighters, when they get older, can still deal with the big power punchers, deal with the speed. It's the speed that bothers them, and that's where Biggs has a chance, at least, against Stevenson. The fighters that have hurt Stevenson or given him trouble in the past mostly have been quick fighters, like Michael Dokes gave him a run for his money in the Pan American Games some years ago because of his speed.
Biggs is an outstanding athlete, attended Hampton Institute, a good combination right there. Biggs will show you a lot of movement. He was a basketball player in college.
And this is the fight Tyrell Biggs needs to fight against Stevenson. Peck in and out, not worry about knocking him out right away or maybe even at all, and keep Stevenson on the defense.
The other super heavyweight for the U.S., Craig Payne from Livonia, Michigan.
And indeed, Payne has a win over Stevenson, beat him in the North American Championships last year. So that's the man that Biggs will be fighting against probably for Olympic berth.
Stevenson also has some competition in Cuba. There's a young man by the name of Jorge Gonzalez coming up who is 6 feet 6 inches tall and 217 pounds. So they like their heavyweights tall and rangy down in Cuba.
Biggs is doing a good job with the jab, keeping it in the face of Stevenson, and Teofilio yet to get off. Of course, we've seen this before from him. He waits, he bides his time, always feeling that the right hand will get the job done for him.
Crowd in Reno, Nevada chanting USA as the Cubans with a 7-4 advantage in this dual competition. And once again, the lighter weights got the U.S. off to a pretty good start, but the heavier weight divisions is where they fall behind.
You know, you can sense as you watch this fight, people just sitting waiting for that right hand of Stevenson to be dropped on Biggs.
Left hand by Biggs lands as we come down to the end of the first round between Tyrell Biggs and Teofilio Stevenson. Tyrell Biggs, Philadelphia, PA, and Teofilio Stevenson. And now in that first round, how did you see it?
I think Biggs was doing most of the work, landing most of the punches. I think you'd have to give him the round. He's able to stay away from Stevenson and still score effectively.
What do you have to do to beat Teofilio Stevenson? There are certain ways, obviously, to do it, even though his record against Americans is incredible. He's beaten all of them but one of them.
Well, I think that the way to beat him is to do what Biggs did in the first round. Use a lot of movement, stay busy, stay away from that right hand, and throw combinations. Stevenson, when he's hit with combinations, tends to get flustered and get into a defensive shell, and so he can't attack you.
That time, Tyrell Biggs landed a good left jab, but he didn't follow it up. So we'll see in the second round if Biggs can put some combinations together. Good uppercut, Teofilio Stevenson.
Biggs in the inside with Stevenson, and it's interesting. You think that's not where you want to be with him. If you can fight well on the inside, it's a safe place because you can't hit you with that long right hand.
There's a right to the body.
Good body shot, and that, of course, is what gave Biggs such a problem the last time they fought.
Biggs is able to get the left jab, and he's not been throwing it that much. It's there for him if he goes after it.
Well, he used it in that first round pretty effectively, but he has not used it as much in this round.
Good right hand by Biggs. Now he might have Stevenson hurt. He's got him against the ropes.
He stunned him with that right hand, and Stevenson in an unfamiliar pose against those ropes, getting hit with punches.
Boy, Biggs still leveling that left. Stevenson getting in some though as he moved right back at him. Sometimes when you're in trouble, Al, that might be the best defense, is moving right into a man, moving him back. And another good combination by Tyrell Biggs as he's putting some punches together in this second round.
He has to be very careful not to get careless with Stevenson. Even though he's hurt him, Stevenson remains dangerous, and Tyrell cannot get wild. He has to stay within what he's doing.
The other thing about Stevenson, though, it just seems like at any moment he's going to unleash that right hand.
You feel that you're waiting for that punch to come, and certainly Biggs is waiting for it.
Less than 30 seconds to go. Good right hand by Tyrell Biggs. Misses with a wild left. Stevenson just sticks the left out. He really doesn't put too much behind it. And Biggs came up with a left hand. It might have caught the chin of Stevenson because his legs wobbled just a bit. And that would have to be a good second round for Tyrell Biggs.
Extremely good. I think he's put two good rounds together. Round one, he danced, boxed, and in round two, a lot of power.
Tyrell Biggs, part of the Operation Gold, working out of Colorado Springs. He's been coached by George Benton, who is a very fine trainer. Emmanuel Stewart over there on the left giving him some advice. And boy, there's a lot of water being thrown around in the corner of Teofilio Stevenson. You sense some urgency there. As I mentioned earlier, Stevenson not accustomed to doing anything but winning against Americans. You mentioned Craig Payne got him on points recently, but throughout his career, he has been dominant of American.
He's beaters like Michael Dokes, John Tate, Dwayne Bobbick, Jimmy Clark, a fine fighter from the Florida area, although Clark gave him trouble. So he's beaten all the amateurs just about that we've thrown his way from the United States. And Tyrell Biggs, if he can have himself a good third round, might be the exception.
And it would certainly do a lot for Tyrell Biggs' hopes of being the super heavyweight in the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles.
Biggs starts out with 2 good jabs. That, as you said, he didn't use as much in the second round.
What do you think Biggs' strategy ought to be in this round? Just to kind of stick and use that jab and try not to get hit?
Well, I would think that would be a good strategy, but he's got to use the right also. He's got to keep punching in combination.
Well, the crowd here in Reno really picking up the USA chant. Now look at Biggs' move, very stylish as he backpedals. That doesn't get you any points. It doesn't really impress anybody, unless maybe you're trying to set something in the opponent's mind. Your legs are fresh and you can still get up on your toes.
In that second round, Biggs showed a few signs of fatigue, and we'll have to look for that here in round 3. Sometimes there's been a problem for him. Now, Stevenson has not hit him to the body much, so that's a good sign, too, and it shouldn't wear Biggs out.
Biggs very stationary right now, and Stevenson moves in and throws a couple little light left jabs. And there, see, he looked for the right, and Biggs was able to slip it. Left jab got in by Biggs.
Stevenson
another left jab.
Stevenson unable to unload that right. That's what he wants to do. He's still waiting. He may wait too long in this fight.
Biggs has Stevenson backed up now, and Stevenson able to get the left hand in. Really not a lot of force behind that. Stevenson just puts the left out there and lets you know it's there. Kind of like the pitcher who uses the curveball once in a while to set up the fastball. And
good left
fastball, yeah, good left hook and a good right.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Biggs came through big shots, and Stevenson, it kind of woke him up a little bit.
Stevenson now using the uppercuts. Both of these fighters puffing and huffing here in the 3rd and final round, and Biggs once again lands that left as he's continued to use the left jab here in the 3rd round to great success.
He's using his jab well, but he's dropping the left hand after he throws it, and that could be dangerous. Stevenson, of course, looking to unload the right over that jab.
Biggs looks very tired now as he's kind of leaning in and pushing Stevenson against the ropes. And now Biggs goes down.
And that right looked extremely low. You can see where Biggs is holding himself. Uppercut by Stevenson, that looked very low. They're counting it a knockdown. And Biggs telling the referee, that was low.
Blood coming out of the nose of Tyrell Biggs. Now Stevenson really moves in and starts wailing away.
Well, that low blow, an apparent low blow, has turned things around for Teofilio Stevenson, but Biggs lands a couple of in round 3, and this crowd is into this fight, that's for sure.
Crowd on their feet now in Reno, Nevada. Biggs continues to throw, but Stevenson has landed in the last minute and a half of this 3rd and final round the more effective punches.
Now the question is, how much will that knockdown count as far as the judges are concerned? We thought that Biggs had very good round 1 and 2.
Solid right by Teofilio Stevenson. Stevenson, a strong finish. We'll be back with the decision after this. Biggs and Teofilio Stevenson. And now you got to figure this is going to be a close decision.
I think very close, but I would think Biggs might have the edge.
Let's find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the decision. Winning the super heavyweight bout. A 3-time gold medal winner in the Olympic Games from Cuba, Teofilio Stevenson.
Well, you can tell the partisan crowd in Reno, Nevada not happy with that. And all Biggs can do is just stand there and shake his head in disappointment.
You can see that frustration etched on his face. I really am surprised at the decision because Biggs, it appeared to me, certainly won those first 2 rounds. And even in the 3rd round, when Stevenson knocked him down, Biggs had his moments. Tough decision for Tyrell Biggs.
I think that the last 30 seconds to the last minute of that fight probably left an impression in the minds of the judges.
Apparently it did, and that knockdown may have come as a low blow. So we'll see. Maybe there's another day in the Olympics for Biggs and Stevenson.
So Cuba defeats the United States 8-4 in this dual meet from the Lawler Special Events Center in Reno, Nevada. For Al Bernstein, I'm Roger Twibell. Thanks for being with us here on ESPN.